Do you hear that train coming? The coming upheaval in online marketing and how you can position yourself to win. I am going to keep this super short. Who has time for these long 40-minute videos anymore? And actually, that's part of my point and part of what is such a big deal today. So, speaking of short, who am I? My name's Ed Dale. And I actually was very fortunate to sell my first business for $3.5 million. And I sold my most recent business for $14 million, which is pretty cool. But the thing I'm most proud of, and hopefully where you've heard of me the most, is that I am the founder of The Challenge, which has given over 153,000 people their start in online marketing since we began it all those years ago. So, and of course, the great thing about The Challenge is it's completely and utterly free, which is wonderful. But that's not what I'm talking to you about today. I truly believe that right now, the world in internet marketing and online business, as we know it, is changing for the first time in a significant way in probably 13 years. And there are three things that have caused this change that I want to highlight to you guys today. The very first one is economic. You know, the cost of buying traffic is going through the roof. And I should say the cost of effective traffic, buying effective traffic, is going through the roof. The competition is getting insane. In the old days, you used to buy great traffic for 5 cents a click. Now, with all the corporates and institutions and people with incredibly deep pockets, how are we meant to compete? It's also, and there's no use getting around this, you know, the economic climate in most places around the world is pretty tough right now. And that in and of itself is not good. But for those of us in the information marketing business and for those of us in the business of providing information and helping people, it's actually pretty exciting. I've got a picture up here of the Little Blue Book. Now, I wonder how many of you have heard of this. It was incredibly successful. This was like the internet during the Great Depression. It was literally, in this one, I think it was 5 cents. These books were 5 cents. You could buy them everywhere. You could pop them in your pocket. Incredible authors like H.G. Wells, as you can see here, wrote for it. There was fiction. There was how-tos. You know, there was information marketing. It was really extraordinary. You should look it up and have a look at it. But what was interesting is they sold $15 million of these things, but that was in the Depression. That's $193 million in today's money. So there are opportunities in tough times. The second thing, though, is social. And look, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty good at handling information, and I am overwhelmed. I am just absolutely blown apart by the amount of information that I have access to now. Like, when I grew up, I lived in a little town called Beechworth. It had literally 2 TV channels, 1 commercial, 1 government, 1 newspaper, 1 radio station. That was it. You didn't get, unless you got a letter, you didn't get information any other way. Now look at it. Look at what my kids have access to. Look what I have access to. Look what you have access to. If anybody can say, oh yes, I'm completely in control of my information, I call shenanigans. There's no way. And this is the problem. And Joe and Jane Smith, our customers, our clients, the people who we hope to sell awesome stuff and delight, are so bombarded with information that how do we get any attention? How do we get through when all the world's information is being doubled every 2 days? It's terrifying. So, how do we do this? What do we do? Well, this is why things like Facebook have become so incredibly effective. Because what's Facebook when you look at it? Really, for Joe and Jane Smith, it's a way of filtering all that information to just get the stuff that interests them. Recommendations from people have become incredibly powerful, incredibly potent. And that's very much been the story of this year in particular. Which leads me to the next point, the third factor, and it's technology, good and bad. Google's algorithms, they have admitted themselves, are absolutely at the breaking point. You know, it's totally astounding what Google can do when you think about it, and the amount of computers that they create and build a year. They're the largest manufacturer of PCs. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but they are. And how they try to filter that information is incomprehensible. It's beyond it boggles my mind how they do it. But even Google themselves, and this is well documented, are fleeing towards bans. Bands. They're going to play music. They're giving up this whole Google thing. Brands is what I was going to say. They are going with, when all else fails, nobody got fired for showing a brand in a search result. You know, so they're going to show the Targets, the Amazons, the IBMs, the Apples, the core brands. Like in the medical area, thanks to a $500 million FTC settlement, they're actually going to only show medical information from people who are certified doctors or institutions that are qualified to give that information. Dramatic impacts for those of us who are providing information in that area. You know, how are we meant to compete with all of this? Indeed, Google have announced, and this is such a massive change, the implementation of author rank. And you might have started to notice those little pictures to the left-hand side of Google results. These pictures are pictures of authors of articles to help convey some accuracy or authority for that link. And this is crucial. They are going to start ranking based on how many times people have plussed your content, how many times they've liked it, how many times they've tweeted it. Because the old style of backlinking, let's face it, who backlinks anymore? The only people who are backlinking are people like you and me. And maybe the Digerati doing their blogs, which is an infinitesimally tiny, small part of the market. I heard Leslie Rohde say at our conference last year that a class of 14-year-old schoolgirls generates more backlinks than the 2 years of 1994 and 95 in a single week. And it's so true. But it's these social indicators that are becoming important. As we're bombarded with technology and information, it's personal recommendations from people that you know have dramatically more powerful impact. It helps you sort through the noise. That's the negative impact of technology. The positive impact of technology, of course, is that you become the publisher. All right, you, for the first time in history, are literally able to build a massive audience for cents, for nothing, basically. You know, you can literally broadcast to thousands and thousands of people. You can create a document which gets spread and read by 1 million people. You can influence from the front of the camera, if that's your style, if that's your thing, or you can influence markets from behind the camera, from behind the scenes, depending on your personality and profile. There's never been a better time for you to do that. So, before I go on though, I do have to point out that this might not be for you listening to this. You know, this idea that I have, this strategy, may not be for you. But let me tell you, if it is for you and this works, and I've seen it work time and time and time again, it could be awesome. It could be the reason that for whatever you've been trying in internet marketing and online business so far, it just hasn't been clicking for you. It hasn't been working. Those things haven't made a difference. Well, this, I think, might just be for you. All right. So what is my big idea? Come clean, Ed, please. Well, let me tell you who it's for first. You know, the big idea is for people who are sick of losing traffic overnight from fickle traffic sources. We've all heard of the Google slaps. We've all heard of the Facebook slaps. We've all heard of all of those things. This is for people who want to be a respected influencer in their market. They want to be a person who makes a difference. And if you become an influencer in a market, all of a sudden, everything becomes simple. Everything becomes much easier because you can pick up the phone and do joint ventures. You can organize launches. It's the missing link that most people don't get. It's why some people seem to have it so easy in an online business and internet marketing. So many people don't. And they think that this influence is somehow some, deity given gift. It's not. It's a process. It's a step. This is for people who are, I suppose, are dissatisfied of the existing techniques. You've tried it, and for whatever reason, it's not clicking with you. This is what my big idea is all about. This idea is a completely new way of looking at marketing online. It's the third way. We're so used to buying traffic, pay-per-click, banner ads, cost per million, thousands of bids, traffic incarnations. We're talking about things like retargeting, all of these traffic techniques that are getting more and more expensive. We're also familiar with SEO, and we're familiar probably with that dirty feeling that we have with creating these blogs that really don't have much valuable information. Splogs or spam or any of these techniques to compete and game the search engines that just leave you feel a little bit cold. This course is for you. And I suppose what it is, let's be very specific. It's a step-by-step guide to how to become a market influencer in your own way and style, and we show you how to create that market influence. I've realized that this is the big step, and I'm going to give you the secret sauce in just a moment. I think, we want people to be delighted by what you have, by what you are doing. They're excited to talk about what you have. So much stuff that we do is lowest common denominator, and I'm sick of it. I am sick of lowest common denominator. I want to be great. I want to do things that are insanely different, to quote the dearly departed Steve Jobs. That, to me, is what this is all about, and I suspect, talking to you now, this is the thing that is missing in all of this. We're used to the SEO techniques, and the price, the pay-per-click, and how much that costs. And some people just don't have that money available. I suppose this approach, this big idea, is all about creating, can we make business fun again? Is that a possible thing? I believe so. I certainly have quite a bit of fun doing this. You have to. And, it's designed to slowly but surely increase your influence in a chosen market or your niche, or indeed a cause. For a lot of people, you're looking to make a difference. You have some vocation, some mission in life, and you want to make that difference. This is definitely for you. This is the step-by-step guide. People think that influence and changing people's opinion and influencing people's opinion is a gift. It's some sort of thing. It's not a gift. It is a habit. It is a step-by-step process that every person who has any form of influence has gone through. You just haven't recognized the pattern. In fact, that pattern is indeed the secret sauce. I've been so lucky that the challenge has given me the privilege to look at thousands of successful and unsuccessful online businesses. And what occurred to me about 4 years ago now is that I started to recognize an extremely simple pattern that repeated again and again. I tested this with mentoring students. I interviewed people all over the planet about who had in themselves become major market influencers who seem to have come out of nowhere, yet have now got influence. And I'm not talking about people with expertise. Some of them did have expertise, but most of them were actually just enthusiasts for their marketplace. They were excited about their marketplace. Market influence is not about expertise. Look at Oprah. Look at Michael Parkinson in the UK. These people are the most influential people on television. Their area of expertise is asking great questions. They're not an expert in anything, but they know how to interview the experts. And this, to me, is part of the secret. The pattern was incontrovertible. If you stick to it religiously, it just works. It absolutely just works. And let me illustrate by story, by example. This here is Julie Powell. May not have heard of Julie Powell, but in August of 2002, in the dust of September 11, literally, she worked in the Lower Manhattan Development Corporation, which you can imagine in 2002 was not exactly the most, it was a hugely inspiring place to be, but of course, the amount of trauma that people in Lower Manhattan were experiencing less than a year after September 11 was extraordinary. She decided to start a blog, and what she wanted to do was she wanted to attempt to cook all of a famous chef's recipes from a particular book in 365 days. And she started a blog about it. And for the first couple of months, she wrote to nobody. Nobody saw it. But she kept at it, and she kept doing it. Slowly and surely, the blog gained an audience, and in the end, had a huge following. Indeed, so huge that she landed a book deal, and that book was made into a motion picture. And that, you might recognise more from here, is of course Julie and Julia. And that story, and by the way, you want a great marketing lesson? Hire that DVD. Get it on Netflix if it's around, or buy it. It's a fantastic, excellent resource. So, we've got the story about Julie, and she used this exact technique, and there are hundreds of other examples of people using this type of technique, and this is what we want to show you in our course. So let me cut to the chase and get straight to the deal. This is either going to be very interesting to you or not, and I get that, but I genuinely believe this is the answer to a lot of you, having spoken to so many challenges. And what I want to do is do this in such a way that I completely take all the risk, okay? I want to do this so that you can try this out with no risk whatsoever and do it at a price which is, well, frankly, ridiculous. Because, I want people to try this. I want people to use it. The course is called Always Be Shipping It, and it's about the art and science of market leadership in influence. If you love the challenge, then you are absolutely going to love this course. It is so comprehensive. There are over 100 videos in this course. Every part of the process is spelled out by me and somebody, a very familiar face from the challenge, Michelle McPherson, who's also an expert in this area. It will help you find your voice, help you find your niche for your market, your cause. And most importantly, it'll help you in a way that suits you and your personality. The entire course is there and ready to go. You don't have to wait for it. You can check it all out. And this is important because I want you to understand, I want to take all the risk. I want you to try this. Risk is on me, not on you, okay? I want you to try it for 30 days. Watch the whole thing. If you have any problem, you don't like it, just say the word and we'll refund your money. It's that simple. Look, Always Be Shipping is $997. In fact, if you go to the site here at the address, you'll see it's $997. But if you use the code ABS497 right on the screen there, if you input that code, you will get, for the next 48 hours only, $500 off. That's right, we'll lower the price to $497. It's $500 off because I want you to try this. I think this is the missing link for you. I really believe that. And guess what? I'm taking all the risk. If you don't like it, then just say the word and we refund your money and we'll get it back straight to you. You've got 30 days to have a look at it. I can't be more fair than that. I think this course is the answer for so many of you. And I'm so passionate about it. The world is changing. Google's changing the way. Slathering backlinks across the planet is not going to continue to work. This is the way, and it's a way that makes you feel good about yourself. It's a way that you can get that passion, that cause that you are so passionate about. If you want to make a difference, this is the step-by-step guide on how to do it. I'm so proud of it. And because I'm proud of it, I want you to try it today. But here's the deal. It's only for 48 hours and then it's back up to the normal price. We still sell it at $997. But because you're doing the challenge and because I want you to try this, we're going to take $500 off just for the next 2 days only, 48 hours. Use the code on the screen and try it. Please try it. I'll take all the risk. I think you are going to love it because this is how online businesses are built, in a way that's fun, in a way that makes you proud to be associated with the business. And boy, if you don't want to use it for business, you can use it for your favorite cause or hobby, and it'll work exactly the same there as well. Try it out, check it out. I think you will absolutely adore it. It's something I'm extremely proud of. Get it today. Go to alwaysbeshipping.co right there on the screen. Use the code and try it out. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll speak soon.